Jordan Binnington, fiery, unpredictable, and according to him, not nervous. But here, recently, he gave us even more ammunition for a video such as this. As a netminder, throughout his brief NHL career thus far, has flown off the handle a good time or two. While some have deemed him the modern version of Ron Hextall, others have coined him as a crybaby with a temper ready to explode at will. In this video, we're going to go over a few select times that Jordan Binnington acted like a baby. And with that, here are times that Jordan Binnington acted like a baby. During a regular season contest against the Los Angeles Kings in October of 2019, Binnington decided to go out of his weight class yet again. After making a save midway through the second period, CLIFFORD, after inadvertently running into the netminder's teammate, seemed incensed at the Blues netminder. Binnington decided he was going to engage the forward by skating into him on purpose after the whistle. So, we can see here at the beginning of an ongoing pattern from the goaltender that will be prevalent throughout this video, as then he decides to stir the pot with the opposition, with the knowing in the back of his mind that his teammates will come to his aid. And clearly, that was the case here. Post-game, Clifford had this to say about his altercation with the goaltender. "I don't know what he was doing. He's in mute. Didn't say a word," he says. Well, you had to pretty much figure that this one was going to be on here. The most recent temper tantrum transpired during a contest against the Colorado Avalanche this season. As the remaining seconds of the middle period were winding down in St. Louis, things quickly began to heat up shortly after the Blues net became dislodged. And getting in on the action behind the cage was none other than Binnington himself. But as he's prone to most oftentimes, Binnington apparently lost it yet again and decided to threaten KADRI by swinging his paddle at KADRI's head. During this ordeal, he also decided to make his presence known on the opposing side of the ice as well, by firing a puck at the opposing netminder, Darcy KUEMPER. For his part in the scuffle, Binnington was given a 10-minute misconduct. Later on, following the game, Binnington apparently felt the need to defend his psyche by saying, quote, "I'm not crazy," end quote.
You're so even-keeled. Have you always been this way?
Yeah, I'm a pretty calm guy.
So, one definite defining moment that proved Binnington can be pretty petty took place during the regular season of 2020-21 against the San Jose Sharks. After having a rough night in net, Binnington, after letting 4 goals trickle in on 19 shots faced, the goaltender found himself getting yanked from the crease midway through the second period of play. But it's what he did after that proved that, indeed, his wires had crossed once again. Since the exit to the locker room was on the opposite end from the Blues end of the ice, Binnington, who was apparently incensed, decided to take his frustrations out on his opponents once again. Now, some have said that Binnington was chirped by an opponent on the Sharks bench, but even still, this doesn't excuse the outburst in my book. After taking a jab at Simic and faking out Erik Karlsson for dramatic effect, he then decided to engage with Devan Dubnyk before finally making his way off the ice surface. As the Blues are en route to their first ever Stanley Cup in franchise history, their second Western opponent of the playoffs that they had to go through was the Dallas Stars. While his team was down at the end of the second period of Game 4, after getting a subtle tap from the Stars captain, seemed to unravel directly after. After giving Jamie Benn a jab, BENN also found himself confronted by a couple of Binnington's teammates thereafter. But even after that confrontation, Binnington still wasn't done letting the opposing team have it. As Binnington was making his way off the ice, he decided to engage with fellow netminder Ben Bishop as well, by slashing the goaltender with his stick. As the third period commenced, Binnington was given 2 minor penalties, one for roughing and also one for slashing. Following the loss, Binnington had this to say about his run-in with the number 14. "Stuff happens. I don't really remember. It's playoff hockey," he says. So the overall conclusion here is Binnington lost it, went rogue, and has amnesia as a result. Back during Benner's days with the San Antonio Rampage, the goaltender was already cementing his reputation of being a loose cannon on ice. Similarly to a few meltdowns he's had in the NHL, Binnington quickly became unhinged during a match to interstate rival, the Texas Stars. As the second period was winding down after letting in 6 goals in the contest, Binnington had apparently had enough and decided to viciously slash. This, of course, initiated a scrum between the two teams and resulted in Binnington being ejected and suspended for the next game.